All right, cool. So I'm just going to go through the process real quickly of setting up some scenes and then controlling these lights and then getting the chases set up along with the scenes and then how to sort of automate that process and then switching between manual mode, program mode, and music mode. So hopefully I'll set y'all up with, yeah, a good sort of starting amount of knowledge. Okay, so what we can do here is we can activate all these channels, we can turn them all on, and that gives us direct control over the lights here. And this is because we're in manual mode right here. So we have it in 3-channel operation. So we have red. Red's going to be these channels. We have green. Boom, boom, boom. And we have blue. Oops. Cool. All right. So what I found to be kind of like a good workflow is what we can do is we can go to a bank here. So we got bank up, bank down. This system has a total of 30 banks that we can use. So I'm going to go down. I've set up, I think, the first like 4 or 5. So maybe we'll go to 30 and we'll work our way down. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to set up sort of a lighting circumstance that I kind of like. So I'm going to try to blend these guys together, try to get something that I'm kind of happy with. Usually you try to go pretty hard on one of the colors and then blend in a little bit of the other or a little too. Okay, so whatever. That's something I kind of like. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hold down the program button for 3 seconds. It's going to put us in program mode. Once we're in program mode, what I'm going to do is we're going to hit add. Oh my gosh. And then we're going to hit the number of the scene that we want to save that as. So now we save this configuration as scene 1 under bank 30 within the device, within the actual controller itself. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just change it a little bit. So I'm going to shift a few little things around, and I'm going to add that as the second scene. I'm going to switch one light here, switch that a little bit, add that as a third scene. So each of these times what I'm doing is I'm pressing the add button, and then I'm pressing the scene that I want to save it as. And then these lights will flash. I'll confirm that we're saving it. So we're just making small little changes here and there. Bam, 5. I think we're on 5. We'll make that 6. We'll make that 6 again. Sorry. Here. And then we'll do this. 7. Bring this down, but also compensate for that. So oftentimes, like, I'm kind of switching around the values for these guys. So that'll be our 7, and then we'll end with a nice little bang here as 8. Cool. All right. So now, at this point, we have saved all 8 of these scenes under bank 30, and we can recall them and then display those scenes by pressing the button. Now, if you boom, 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 there's all of our scenes. Cool. Now, if these channels are active, which they still are, that means if I move any of these faders, it's going to override that scene. So if I move all of these faders, now all of these lights are in active control here. I'm calling it active. I guess it's called manual control. Now, I can still hit the scenes and switch to the scenes, but as soon as I touch these faders, it's going to go to that. All right, so that's something to keep in mind. So if we're just like switching between scenes and dealing with chases, once we've programmed the scenes, what we want to do is turn off these channels. Now also the other thing is we're still in program mode, so we want to hold down this button for 3 seconds. That's going to put us back in manual mode, hit blackout, and we're good to go. Now notice none of my fixtures are active, right? So if I move the faders, nothing happens, right? But if I hit my scene buttons, we're still able to transition between our scenes. Now if I hit a scene button twice, it'll in theory turn off the light. I don't know why that's still green a little bit. It's probably just because these lights are janky. So yeah, so just be aware of that. Like if you accidentally press the button twice, it's going to black out. It's going to turn them off completely. Otherwise, you can transition between them. Alright, yeah, sorry about that. So my camera died there. But we discovered something cool while the camera died. Alright, so we have our scenes, right? We can go back and forth between them. Now sometimes we'll run into a circumstance where it seems like switching between the scenes doesn't work. And I'll set that up right now. So what I can do here is I can turn on these faders. I can kind of send a signal into it, like a residual brightness or whatever. Now if I turn these off, and then try to go between the scenes, you see that the scenes don't really seem to do anything, right? Like it seems like they have no effect. And that's because we're in manual mode, and it's going to take whatever the last manual signal was sent to these controllers, and it's going to keep on displaying that. And the scenes, unless the scene has a higher brightness than those messages, it's not going to do anything. So that sucks. But what we do, it's easy. We're going to turn all of these back on, all of our fixtures back on, and we're going to kind of refresh the signals going into it. So we're going to turn it off. We're going to send it some off signals. Great. We're going to turn off these fixtures. And now we get full control over our scenes again. Right? Super cool.